So this USDCAD analysis for Monday the 1st of October. Now let's just have a look at them prices and where prices may likely go. So previously we've had prices testing the 129.44. We've had this rally through the 130 all the way up towards this 30.69. Kind of difficulty around 30.69. We've had the pullback, the highs, lower highs, had this consolidation, saw this sharp breakdown beyond the 130. Brief pullback after breaking the 129.44 here on the USDCAD. After breaking 129.44, tested 129.44 from below. It did hold as resistance. Previously acted as support, did hold as resistance. So further sell side momentum here in the market. Closed near that 129. We did have the market close around slightly above the 129. We've had a gap down in the market. When the market open, we've had this rally towards that 128.80. Fail. We've seen the we've seen the further fall through of sell side momentum. Tested the 128.39, brief rally, broke below, tested the 128.39 from underneath. We do appear to be rejecting it at present. So if we do continue to hold below the 128.39 here on the USDCAD, the very next level that we are looking at here to the downside would be a move down towards that 127.78, successful break from which we're then looking for price head down towards that 127.56. And if there is sufficient volatility in the coming weeks or so, may even see that 127 tested here on the USDCAD. But we do have a pretty strong level in around that 127.56 that we do have to be aware of. If we do break back above the 128.39, we're looking for a retest of that 129 from underneath. So successful break from which we were then looking for prices test at 129.44. Previous scenario we've rejected. Previous scenario we've also found support. Main counter resistance again. We've encountered resistance there quite recently. So we do have to be aware of the possibility of encounter resistance again at that 129.44 if we do see a counter trend move. Also around at 129.44 from which we've previously encountered resistance. Again, we do have there a confluence of 200 period moving average, thus increasing likelihood of seeing sell side momentum come into the market from that level. And finally, we've mentioned levels to the upside and the downside. So we'll have a look here at the higher time frame. So we'll have a look here at the monthly chart on the USDCAD. And here on the monthly chart, we can see we've had our lows, higher lows. We've had this rally to the upside. We've had a sharp move up towards that 133.83. We've had a pretty strong pullback from that 133.83. We've had this consolidation just above the 130 here. Between the 129 and 130, we've had a consolidation. From that consolidation, we can see we've somewhat broken out of the consolidation here to the downside somewhat. We've had a pretty strong bearish close to the previous month, closing near our very lows. We've had a gap down so far this month, so we'll see if we do have a break back above the 28.39 for a counter trend move, and after which see further sell side momentum and a continued fall here on the USDCAD. But do appear to have had this rally here to the upside fail, and we do seem to be poised for lower prices. So we'll see if we can pulse a relative high. There is still remains a possibility of pulsing a higher low and having prices trade all the way towards the high 130s here on the USDCAD. But for now, it does appear that the buyers are in control of this market here on the USDCAD. And with that said, let's just have a look here at the weekly chart. So over here on this weekly chart, as you can see, we do have our lows, higher lows, higher lows still. We've had the accelerated momentum towards a 133 consolidation, breakdown, consolidation. We had this brief rally which appeared poised to bring us up towards that 133. But this rally that did come into the market after finding support in around that 200 period moving average has failed, and we have subsequently seen a further sell side momentum. We've had higher prices rejected as indicated by this wick here more recently for the previous week. We did close near our lows, and so far at the open this week we've had a rally fail also, and we do seem poised for a further breakdown in prices here on the we do seem poised for a further breakdown in prices here on the USDCAD. And finally, we'll have a look here at the daily chart. So on this daily chart of the USDCAD, and we can see here we do have our highs, lower highs, lower highs still. Another lower high, we've had price come down towards this 129, formed a bit of a double bottom in around that 129. We've had this rally. This rally has failed in around that 30.69. We've had a pretty strong bearish candle. This is somewhat bearish engulfing candle, as you can see here. fairly large, closing near the very lows, slightly above there, 129. As you can see, we've gapped below the 400 period average and at 129. We've had this rally back above the 200 period average here from a daily chart, rejected so far, and so far this today we are trading bearish territory below the 28.39 quite a bit, so we do seem poised for further lower prices. Now, I mentioned at 27.56 and 27.56 our previous lows before we did have this rally all the way up towards that 133.83. Again, we'll see whether we do find support at 127.56 or whether we'll see continued fall here in prices. And if we do fall beyond the 127.56, the very next level of note that we can see here on the charts from where we are is a move possibly down towards that 125.30 here on the US dollar CAD. And with that said, that pretty much wraps up the US dollar CAD analysis. Thanks for watching.